It resembled my hometown. For rent signs sprinkled the front yards, and indecipherable graffiti marred all the buildings. The public bus was typically more crowded in the city, but it was full of familiar faces. A slender old man with his groceries, a woman and her daughter who matched from head to toe, a few high schoolers here and there that were skipping class. We chugged onward towards Visitation Elementary. I appeared overdressed for 11 a.m., but I was en route to a very eye-opening 2-month journey. They were effervescent 8- and 9-year-olds running wild during recess. There was screaming and singing. There was laughter, and every so often, there were some tears. The new playground was some odd contraption that students clung to, even after the whistle had blown. They looked disappointed to go back to class, but I anxiously awaited them in the classroom. Adrenaline flushed through my stomach. Which ones were mine? Inglewood startles some ears. For others, it rings a bell. For my dad, a police officer, it was the incessant buzz of his college-age daughter. Inglewood? He asked me. As a police officer in a rough neighborhood up north, he was not quite so empathetic. We knew what a rough neighborhood meant. Often there were high crime and violence rates. He asked me why I would ever want to work in such a neighborhood. However, I felt called to work with students. I traded briefcases for book bags and cubicles for creaky old tattered desks. Some days it seemed that I was the only one thrilled about my trade. The following 2 months challenged me, but also enriched me. Myself and a fellow DePaul student spent many days understanding the value of paper towels. With our third graders, we engaged in art and geography by creating large-scale states out of wet clay. We measured and painted concepts of sea level and decorated complimentary brochures. More importantly, we talked with the students. We laughed with them. We judged singing contests and listened to formal presentations. We watched them melt down, but also make up. We didn't know what those students went home to, or if they were even going home on any given day. But there was nothing rough nor tough about these 8-year-olds. They were impressionable, silly, and seemingly happy young students. Though they had their moments, they were nothing different than any other third graders. Except for the fact that they were. They were confident students. They believed, with a great amount of love and support from our coordinating teacher, that they could do it, whatever the it may be. However, the true colors were dismal. The homeroom teacher shared with me the fact that most students in her class, all third graders in nature and science, were in fact nearly illiterate. Many of them reading at roughly a 1st or 2nd grade level, when in a few short weeks they would be promoted to the 4th grade. It ignited a strange inquiry from within. When, where, and most importantly how do we intervene to save students from the disparities of illiteracy?